Class, picking up where we left off from the last video, I made a little alterations that should not affect how you wrote it on your sheet. But in front of this, we have p minus 3, p plus 3, which we determined to be the common denominator of this rational equation. So what happens is the p minus 3, p plus 3, we'll put over 1. These will simplify each other out and leave us 6. P plus 3 and p plus 3 simplifies out, and we have p minus 3 times positive 1, which will give us a positive p minus 3. And that equals the p minus 3's will simplify out, and you'll be left with p plus 3 times 1, which is p plus 3. Now, we need to solve this problem here. We can combine like terms. 6 minus 3 is 3, plus p is equal to p plus 3. Now, we want to get all the p's on one side, so we subtract p on both sides. And we're left with 3 is equal to 3. And then your answer should be all real numbers. Except except 3 and negative 3. Because remember, 3 and negative 3 are the only numbers that would make this denominator 0. So it's all real numbers except 3 and negative 3. That is your final answer. Okay, now we scroll down here to the next page. Now with part D, I took the liberty of filling this out. Okay, now the first thing I did here was take the factorization of the difference of two squares of x squared minus 4, which gave me x minus 2 and x plus 2. So I brought down the first two terms as is, and it's equal to 3 over the factorization of x squared minus 4. Now the common denominator of these three terms is x minus 2 and x plus 2, which I wrote here. Now we want to simplify. These x minus 2's will simplify out. X times x is x squared, and 2 times x is 2x. Now we go to the second term. These x plus 2 simplify out. So this will play out as if you're multiplying two parentheses by each other, x minus 2, and then the opposite of x minus 1. So what I'm going to do up here, I'm going to write this up here to show you what it looks like. Okay, again, we said these x plus 2's will simplify out. So really you have, and I'll start here, you will have basically x minus 2, which is what you have left here, times, remember it's the opposite of x minus 1, which would be negative x plus 1. So this is how we would do our multiplication. X times negative x is a negative x squared. X times 1 is x. Negative 2 times the negative x is positive 2x. And negative 2 times 1 is a minus 2. Now, what I did was I wrote this down here. We had negative x squared plus x plus 2x minus 2. So that covered this here. Now the x minus 2 and x plus 2 simplify out, and it leaves you 3. Now, what we do here is we combine like terms. X squared minus x squared, they will simplify each other out to 0. 2x plus x is 3x plus 2x is 5x, which we have here. And we bring down our minus 2 equals 3. Now, we have to get x by itself, so we will add 2 to both sides. And we will have 5x is equal to 3 plus 2 is 5. Now we divide each side by 5, and x is equal to 1. And when you look at the denominators of your original problem, 1 does not make any of these denominators equal 0. So our final answer here would be 1. Now, We scroll down here to the next problem. Objective 2, example 4. Now, it says here, in Palo Alto, California, a government agency ordered computer-related companies to contribute to a pool of money to clean up underground water supplies. The formula C is equal to 2x over 100 minus x minus the cost C in millions of dollars for removing X percent of the contaminants. What percent of the contaminants can be removed for $2 million? So here, I took the liberty of writing this out, but I'm going to explain it. The first thing I did was rewrite this formula. C is equal to 2x over 100 minus x. Okay, now they tell us that C is in millions of dollars. So they say what percentage of the contaminants can be removed for $2 million. So C would just be 2, because that represents $2 million. Is equal to 2x over 100 minus x. Now we find the common denominator. The common denominator, if we put this 2 over 1, the common denominator of 1 and 100 minus x is 100 minus x. So we multiply this whole problem by 100 minus x. Now, since this has, both of these has 1 as the denominator, we'll take 2 times everything in this numerator. 2 times 100 is 200. 2 times a minus x is minus 2x. That'll take care of the left side of the equal sign. Next, this 100 minus x and 100 minus x will simplify out and leave 2x. So now we add 200 minus 2x equals 2x. Now we have to put all the x's on one side. So we're going to add 2x on both sides. This will leave 200 on the left side and 4x on the right side. Now we need to get x by itself, so we'll divide each side by 4. 200 divided by 4 is 50, and 4x divided by 4 is x. Now, going back to the original problem, it tells us here that x represents percent. So whatever number that we get is automatically considered to be a percent. So this is really 50% is equal to x. So your final answer is 50% of contaminants will be removed for $2 million. And that is your final answer.